We're going to continue with Perek Alef, Mishna Gimel. Antignos Socho. So Antignos, who was a man from a place called Socho, Kibel, Mishimon HaTzadik. He learned from Shimon HaTzadik, Huhay Omer. Shimon HaTzadik would say, Al tiyu ha'avadim, a person should not be like a servant, Hamashamshin, as a rav that serves his master, Almanas L'Kabel Pras, in order to get reward. Ella, rather, Hebu Chavadim, you should be like a servant, Hamashamshin, as a rav that serves his master, Shalom Almanas L'Kabel Pras, not with the intent that you should receive reward in return for your service. That should not be your motivation. It should not be your intent when you're serving your master. The Mora Shemayim Aleichem, and the fear or the awe of heaven should be upon you. So Rashi on this Mishnah, after he discusses a little bit what the exact etymology of the word pras is, something of value, a present, but the basic idea is it's something that you receive. And the Mishnah is telling you, you should not do your avodas Hashem with this intent to receive pras. Says Rashi, what is it referring to? Shalotoma, a person should not say, Akaye mitzvos bori, I'm going to fulfill the commandments of my Creator. Kidei, in order, sheyas bilikol tzarki, he'll provide me with all my needs. Meaning, a person should not say that I'm going to serve Hashem, and in return for that, what I want is, I'll serve you Hashem, and then you provide me with everything I need. Rather, what should a person do? He should serve Hashem purely out of love, not with any intent to receive anything back. Be more Shemaim Aleichem, and the fear of heaven should be upon you. So Rashi says, the reason why a person should not do this avoda in the manner where he says, I want to serve you Hashem in order to get paid back by having you take care of my needs, is because reward for mitzvahs is not in this world. This world is not made for reward. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, that which I've commanded you today, hayom la'asosam, today to perform the mitzvos, v'lo hayom litos schar, but not today to receive their reward. Now, obviously, aside from the fact that, of course, if a person does live their life fulfilling the Ratzon HaBorei, then obviously they will have a life of great happiness, because Hashem is the one who created us, and He gave us the, so to say, user manual called the Torah, which is the way if a person wants to truly be happy to attain true happiness. But that's not reward. That just happens to be that's going to be the result of following the mitzvahs. But reward of getting something in return for doing the mitzvahs that doesn't naturally come out of the mitzvah, so that is not this world is not the place for that. And as we know, as the Mishnah says later on in Perek Daled, Mishnah Yedzayin, Yafeh Sha'achas Shokaras Ruach B'Olam Haba, one moment of pleasure in the next world is greater than Mikol Chai Olam Hazeh, all the pleasure in this world. Meaning the reward for a mitzvah is so great that it cannot be paid back in this world. There is a discussion in the Gemara and Daf Chavtes and Beis and Kiddushin, is there maybe payros B'Olam Hazeh, maybe there's some level of, if you will, interest paid, but the actual reward for the mitzvah, according to all opinions, is not in this world, because there's nothing in this world that could pay for your mitzvah. And therefore, the Mishnah is teaching us that a person should not say, I'm going to do the mitzvah with the intent that I'm going to receive a reward of getting my needs taken care of, because it's not going to happen, because that wouldn't be a valid reward. And therefore, that should not be your intent when you do the mitzvah. Rather, you should do it me'ava. And if we stop to think about it, this seems to be very interesting, because we're talking here about a person, if they're saying, I'm going to do the mitzvahs with the intent that I should get paid by having Hashem take care of my needs, that means they're a person who believes that A, Hashem gave all these commandments, and B, that Hashem has the power and the capability, if Hashem so desires, to give them whatever they need. Because if they didn't believe either of those things, if either they weren't sure that Hashem really gave these commandments, so then even if Hashem could provide me with everything I need, but I didn't do anything for Hashem, because who said Hashem wants me to do this? So I'm not doing what Hashem wants, so then I don't deserve anything in return. So I have to really feel and believe that Hashem gave these commandments. And then B, I also have to truly believe and feel that Hashem is the Kol Yachol, Hashem is all powerful, and if Hashem wants, Hashem has the power to give me everything I need. Because if I don't really feel that or believe that, so then even if I'm doing everything Hashem wants, but maybe Hashem is not going to be able to give me what I need, so I still won't bother doing these mitzvahs, because they're not going to get me what I want. So this person is someone who truly believes, and it's real to them, that Hashem gave these commandments, and that Hashem has the power to give them everything they need, and therefore they're ready to conduct their life based on that. And it seems that this is, if you think about it, is not such a simple madriga, it's not such a simple level to reach. It sounds to be a pretty lofty level. For someone to truly, really feel and live with the fact that the mitzvahs are Hashem's commandment, they're Hashem's will, and Hashem has the power to give me everything I need, and I could live my life if not for the fact that Hashem won't do this because it's not valid reward, but theoretically, if it was a valid reward, then I could conduct my life in the following. I'm a person who's ready to, I'll do mitzvahs, and that's it. I'm good to go. I'm not going to do anything to get what I need. Hashem's going to provide it for me. I really feel that. I'm going to sit at home. I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to do anything to get my needs. How many of us, if Hashem gave us that option, said, if you do the mitzvahs, I'll take care of all your needs, how many of us would feel secure just doing the mitzvahs and then sitting back and saying, okay, I don't have to worry about anything? I'm not maybe talk personally, right? It doesn't seem such a simple thing. It doesn't sound like something that too many people would be ready to do. And therefore, why does the Mishnah find it necessary to tell us and teach us not to do this? Is it really relevant to too many people? What they're doing in Pirkei Avos? And I think we see from here something very important, that a lot of times a person can, underestimate themselves. They can think, look, obviously there's many levels to this, but how much do I fully feel that this is Hashem's will? Does Hashem really want me? Did Hashem really tell me to put on tefillin this morning? Of course, we intellectually may believe that, and we know it, and we definitely pay lip service to it. But do I really feel with all my being that Hashem is commanding me right now and telling me, Ruvain, put on your tefillin right now? Is that really how I feel? Do I really feel that if Hashem wanted right now, Hashem could send me whatever I need, and I don't have to lift a finger, I don't have to do anything? A house could spring up around me, furniture, I don't have to do a thing. There doesn't need to be a store, there doesn't be anything. Hashem could literally provide me with everything. Do I fully feel that? And a lot of times we may think that not only don't we feel it, but it's not something we could ever feel. And we see from here that the truth is that, well, yes, it obviously may take work to achieve it, but it's not something that's far out of the reach of many people. And it's something which is within the grasp of enough of a mass of people that therefore the Mishnah has to turn around and warn us not to serve Hashem in this manner, because it's something which could be relevant to a large mass of people, to a large part of the population. And if we could appreciate that, so then we could be inspired perhaps to try to work to achieve those levels where we truly feel and believe that this is Hashem's commandment and that Hashem has the power to give us everything we need and do whatever Hashem wants. And to achieve those levels of belief in Hashem and feeling of Hashem and living with that reality, and through that to be able to serve Hashem on higher levels. And I think we see something else very interesting from here as well, that the Mishnah says, why is it that a person should not serve Hashem with this intent? Because the reality is it's not going to happen. That's not going to be what you're going to get, because this world is not the place where you get your reward, because this world cannot provide you with anything that resembles a reward. It won't be a valid reward. You need much more than that for the reward for a mitzvah. And, many times we hear, the mitzvahs are so special and there's tremendous reward that awaits us in Olam Haba. And, it's just a saying, because it's hard to relate to. What does it mean it's big? Nobody's ever, never seen it. So, it's a nice idea. Conceptually, I could understand such a thing, but I don't really relate to it. What does it mean that there's this tremendous reward? How do I measure the reward? Give me something, to sort of give me some sort of idea to measure it by. What can it be compared to? And we see from here a little bit of a yardstick where we can begin to see just how great the reward in Olam Haba is. Because here you have a person, imagine, that doesn't have all their needs taken care of, and even if they do, they have to put in so much effort to get it. But you could have a person who they're putting in all that effort, and they're not quite sure where their next meal is coming from. They may not be sure where they're staying, where their next roof over their head's coming from, their clothing. So you can imagine such a person, if you were to tell them, look, you've been putting in so much hard work, and you've had so much worry and so much stress, and after all that, you still don't necessarily have everything you need. That could all be changed in an instant, in a snap of a fingers. If you start doing all the mitzvahs and you say, Hashem, I want my reward to be that I get all my needs taken care of, everything will be perfect. You won't have to do any work anymore. You won't have to do anything. You'll be able to sit back, and you won't have to worry about anything. Everything will be provided for. You won't have any more worry. You won't have any more. Everything will be good to go. Could you imagine how amazing that person would feel? They would jump at the opportunity. Please, I'll give anything to have such a button to push. Is there something? What could I do? Please, give me that opportunity where I don't have to toil night and day and worry what's going to be, and I'll actually have whatever I need. Sign me up. And yet the Mishnah is teaching us that no, don't sign you up. That wouldn't be payment for a mitzvah. That's nothing. And it gives us a little bit of an insight, a little bit of a glimpse into some idea of what it means, the tremendous reward that awaits for us for doing a mitzvah. It's so much greater than that, and therefore that would not be a valid payment for a mitzvah. That reward, which seems to be so tremendous and so great, pales in comparison to the reward for a mitzvah, and therefore that's not a valid reward. Hashem says, don't waste your time. If that's what you're trying to achieve by doing the mitzvah, you're wasting your time. That's nothing. That's like getting, something. Imagine somebody has $1 billion building, and someone says, "Here's $1, I'll buy it from you." It'd be ridiculous. Nobody would even. You wouldn't even look back to say a word to the guy. You wouldn't even pay attention to it. It's crazy. In a similar vein here too. To us, it seems so great, but that's only because we don't realize and we don't know the tremendous reward, the $1 billion building that awaits for us. Relative to that, this is like $1. And that Hashem, if we could appreciate that, and together with, as we said earlier, our tremendous potential to come to a hakara, a true hakara, and a real hakara of the fact that Hashem commanded us to do all these mitzvos, and the fact that Hashem is the Kol Yachol. If we can take those together, they can both work to help spur us on to ever greater avodas Hashem, and as Hashem through that, to Takabi Zocha, to the Peiros B'Olam Hazeh, and the Karen Kayemes Olam Haba.